I'll be talking about my growing up with autism and how I'm dealing with it. And if you guys have any questions, I'll be free to answer them after this presentation. I thank you.
Okay. Well, we got people coming.
Do you want to wait till they sit down?
Yeah.
Maybe he's down here by now. I thought he wouldn't start until 6:30. Yeah. But I'm recording it for Carol since she can't. He's going to do many more.
We'll sign in now, sir, okay? So that we come on up, Barb. Could you just move over a seat so that way we can... Sure. We'll sit here. Come on up here, Don and Mike. Where are you going to sit? You want to sit there? Barb, do you want to come up there? Mike, sit over here, please. Barb, you can come up here.
Hello. How are you today?
Good.
Come on, Mike. You break something.
How are you?
Good.
Hey, Barbara. Hi, Bernie.
Hey, Stephen.
He's not here today.
Hello.
Ready? All right.
Yeah, we're ready.
Successful living within the autism spectrum. Brittany Anthony. Introduction.
There's no way you can put that on that screen?
No.
We don't have a projector.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, sorry.
That's indigenous, is like.
All right. People on the autism spectrum are capable of doing many things. Me, for example, I drive, do my laundry, do my bills, work 2 jobs, change the sheets, working out, read, make something to eat, practice yoga, live on my own most of the time, and then enjoy spending time with family and friends. Now, the challenges I overcome. Speaking. One of the 2 struggles of the autistic people. I had trouble communicating. And because of me going to BOCES, I got speech therapy till I was 15. To be honest, I'm kind of glad about that.
Yeah.
If I didn't go to BOCES, I wouldn't be presenting this.
Oh.
Reading. This is an interesting story. I was not always a reader, not until 18, 19, 20 years ago. The store FYE came into my life. Every time I go there, I used to go in there, look at the movies, read the boxes to see who's in it, what it's about. I would spend 3 or 4 hours in there, and my mom would be sitting here. But the thing is, that was at the time, that was the only way I was going to get into reading. But gradually, I started reading books like when I was in elementary school, I used to read these books called The Adventures of the Bailey School Kids books. Then when I was in high school, I started reading on the internet, like Wikipedia, about actors, actresses. Then I also gradually got into books about them because you're not going to get a lot of details about them on the internet. That's what I like about books about them. Bottom line is, FYE is the reason I'm reading. Changing the sheets. My bed is huge, so it was kind of hard for me to put the sheets on. But the more I did it, the easier it got. It goes for everything. The more you do it, the easier it gets. Coordinating schedule for 2 jobs, that was a challenge because 4 years ago I applied for Marshall's, and during the beginning of that, Marshall's does my schedule on a different day besides from ShopRite, so it was hard for me to coordinate my schedule. Then a year ago, Mom and I went to Marshall's and told them I can work in the morning. Then we went to ShopRite and told them I could work at night. And ever since then, I never had a problem since. Mentor cheating on the timesheet. I had a guy from ISS. If you don't know what ISS is, it stands for Independent Support Services.
Oh, I know what that stands for.
I had a guy who used to work with me. When we do stuff, he presents me the timesheet, and he has to write down what we did together. But without my knowledge, he puts down what we didn't do. But I'll get to that with my quote about mistakes. Living on my own. I moved out of my mom's house almost 2 years ago. The main thing about you gotta do your own grocery, but even though my dad does the groceries, I do my own dishes, but I don't have a problem doing it. But the best part of living on my own most of the time is one of the 2 things I cherish the most: privacy.
Yup.
I love privacy so much, I could walk butt naked in my own house. Socializing, another struggle for the autistics. I didn't have a problem socializing, but I just didn't know how to do it. And I think going to Pine Bush really helped me with socializing. Because of that, my brother was a senior in high school and I was a freshman, so he told me to my friends, and they always say hi to me during the hallway in my senior year, which I should thank Matt for that. And because of that, I keep in touch with most of them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and Snapchat. And I also go to TAP every Monday night because the main reason I go there is to socialize. That's my big thing.
And karaoke.
Yep, karaoke. Oh, another. And my dad started this foundation called the Anthony Family Foundation for Autism Support. He started this because as young kids about to graduate high school. They didn't know what to do after that, so he started because to get them more independence and more social. And he also sponsors this group called the Blue Renaissance Group, which I go to every month. And I've been more social ever since.
That's good to know.
Yes.
We'd have to do a presentation for that, I'm sorry. What was this? Right. I love being social. I really do. I'd rather be social in person than on social media. It's not the same thing.
That's right.
I like being social, but I also like me time. Brett's advice. Now, I learned this in the conference at SUNY New Paltz back in May. Dignity of risk is the right to take risks when engaging in life experiences and the right to fail on those activities. Janice Schaus, parent of a child with autism.
So,
Sometimes in order to succeed, you have to take a little risk. Like for me, at ShopRite, I do carts, and it's not easy as it sounds.
I know sometimes you have to do it you even have to do it in the winter.
Yeah,
That don't sound like fun to me.
no. And that's not the worst part. The worst part is people backing out when I'm trying to push a bunch of carts. Even though you're supposed to push 5, but I can push more than that because it's more efficient if you do it that way. But I managed to get it in the building with no problem, even though I almost got ran over a bunch of times.
You like your job?
Yes, I do. Let people do things even when it takes longer. It took me longer to socialize, get into socializing. But eventually, I got so used to it. I love it. I love spending time with friends, family. These things do take time.
And guess what, Brett? Me and her are boyfriend, girlfriend.
Congrats.
We go out together on a regular basis.
Honesty and following the law. Sometimes being honest is not always that simple because some people may react to honesty not really well. And I know some people who react to honesty not well. And following the law. I have no record, but I like keeping out of trouble.
That's right. There you go.
People do a lot of stupid things when it comes to breaking the law. Like, when I was in high school, 2 classmates of mine did a senior prank. It was so bad, they vandalized the track and field, and they got arrested for it because of the senior prank. And you know what I said when I found out about it? Thank God I wasn't part of it.
I got something.